San Diego is home to nearly 140,000 active duty military and reservist members. But a new U.S. military financial capability report is out that shows 40% of military personnel surveyed say they have trouble paying their bills. But there's help, in part from my guest, 20-year Navy veteran Ed Olander, a financial counselor at the Fleet and Family Support Center in San Diego. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So, Ed, survey respondents also said, besides this 40% that had difficulty paying their bills, that 25% have actually overdrawn their checking account. Nearly 20% say they've dipped into their retirement account for loans. How surprising are these survey results?
Not very. I'm part of my job is being a counselor, and I get to see a lot of these people. And often it's they make a decision without seeing somebody first. They're in the military. You're told to solve your own problems. So they initially try to solve the problems, and then they realize it's gotten beyond them. That's either their command may send them to see us, or they just may learn about us and come see us at that point.
This is sort of a reactionary first type of thing.
Right.
Well, when you're in the military, I understand that having debt isn't just a personal financial problem. It can actually impact your job and keep you from progressing in the military.
Absolutely, and actually cost you your career. Number one cause for pulling security clearances in the Navy is still financial mismanagement. Because if you're in debt, you're at risk of making risky behavior. The bad people can find out about it. And there's all kinds of information, obviously, all kinds of resources we want to find out from us, from drug smugglers to foreign governments.
So that affects security clearance, and you were explaining the security clearance means you sometimes can't even get on base or into the building.
Right. If your clearance is pulled, you may not be able to serve on the ship. There are certain buildings at San Diego commands. You can't even step foot in the building without a clearance.
Well, I understand these problems are rather extensive. The survey said that about 49% of these enlisted military people engage in what's considered expensive credit card behavior. Give us a few examples of what that might be.
Well, for a lot of them, the average age in the military is 19. So suddenly they have a job, they can apply for credit, they get credit cards, and now they can get all the stuff that they want. Whether it's buying lots of clothes, whether it's buying expensive electronics, buying a very expensive car. There is no cap on interest rates in this country. So I've seen sailors get 36% car loans.
And then there's those payday loans, which are extremely dangerous. Tell us what those are.
Yeah, the payday loans are the low interest, low amount loans, usually $500 or less, that if you're short on payday, you go get them. And if you pay it back immediately, it's usually not a very high interest charge. But if you can't pay it back, they'll charge we'll just put an added fee on there and you increase your interest rate a little bit, and the interest rate of those can jump to 400 to 600%.
600%.
Right.
Is there a law to protect the military?
Yes, there was a law passed in 2007 that capped payday loans to the military in store to 36%, also refund anticipation loans and auto title loans. Unfortunately, the companies are finding ways to go around it by directing service members to go online, where again, there's no cap on interest rate.
You're still seeing this?
Yes.
You're still seeing that quite a bit. Now, in San Diego, it's an expensive place to live, and I understand this survey found that in junior enlisted, the early guys that first come in, maybe for their first 4 to 6 years, are making between $18,000 and $28,000 a year. How can they survive on that?
Well, if they're a single sailor, normally at their command, they're probably going to be living on base, in the barracks or on the ship. Their food is provided. You have the galley on the ship or on base. The trouble is when we get into the married personnel. And often the spouse is unemployed because they're new to San Diego, hard to get a job. There are ways of getting around it. The base housing does pay for utilities. There are resources available for them, but for the very junior sailors, it is very tough. San Diego is an expensive place to live, even for more senior people.
But you see more than just junior sailors. These problems that we're seeing, I know 38% of homeowners in the military said that they're underwater on their mortgage. You see people who are officers as well.
I've seen every rank from E1, which is the bottom enlisted rank, up to 06, which are captains.
How do you help them save, for one? And two, what are the other things that you help them with as far as education and training?
Well, one of the things we do is get them to develop a spending plan, which is a nicer word for budget, because everyone hates the word budget. So we get them to start tracking their spending, know where their money is going, setting money aside for things. If they know where the money is going, they're going to plug up the leaks, and that's one of the most important things right off the bat. Then once they know where their money is going, look for ways to make that money last longer. So if they want to go to the movies more, maybe go to matinees. Go to the movies on base where they're free. Eating out, go for the 2-for-1 coupon places. Look for places that offer military discounts. But the biggest thing is just putting first time they see their money on paper is eye-opening for most people.
Right. Well, Navy financial counselor Ed Olander, thanks so much for this update.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us in.